Welcome to Essex County College's Community Education Forum TV series. Now here's your host, Mr. Alfred Bundy.
Matter that has raised concerns and led to a national discussion and debate. It's the issue of banned books in our public libraries and schools. Please welcome Essex County College Professor Ruth Ware to the forum. Welcome.
Thank you, Al.
Let me just ask you from a personal level, how long has this been a concern? When did this come on our radar, this whole concern about books and what we're reading?
Book banning?
When did that come?
That's a great U.S. history question that I wish I had the timeline on. But essentially, censorship in the United States began with obscenity laws, which, but we could go further back.
Mm-hmm. I'm just talking about recently when it's really dominating and really becoming such a public discussion. Which has been the last 3 or 4 years, last 5 years?
I hate to say it, but it's actually always been in terms of the conversation. Of course, we're lucky here in Newark, and if I had to say North New Jersey, because in our part of the country, book banning and book challenges are lesser known than, let's say, other states like Texas and Florida.
I see.
Right? And there's no doubt that my colleagues, as a member of the New Jersey Library Association College and Universities section, that this conversation about book banning is something that is exacerbated by the fact and is included in the conversation about misinformation, meaning that there's so much information out there that more and more citizens need to be really abreast as to what is actually happening with the powers that be.
Help us a little bit. What's the difference between a book challenge and what we might consider a book ban? What's the difference?
The challenge is essentially an organization by the ALA report with regard to censorship. It's about 15% of the challenges that are brought up are essentially from political and religious groups. And so the challenge would be, for example, that they could have a comment that the color purple, Alice Walker's Color Purple, should not be sitting at their local public libraries main stacks or within a school district. The actual ban is the action by which the title would be removed from the shelf and removed from access.
What does the conversation of banned books mean to this community or to our students? What does it mean?
Well, it's a unique concern for us when we talk about, I am a first generation Ecuador and the Dominican Republic. And when we think about our BIPOC communities, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, the idea that we will, even now in 2024, that our children wouldn't have access to the color purple, for example, and I say children, essentially everyone under 21, right? It's a big concern because when we think of the history, and I have to bring that up because, there was a time when African Americans weren't allowed to read. Right?
That's correct.
So this conversation about the freedom to read, the freedom to write, is directly affects all our underrepresented voices.
And I'm glad you're using the color purple. I mean, certainly it's been revived through a movie, but it really first was a book.
Yes.
And Alice Walker became quite renowned for that. How do book bans at the K through 12 grade level affect higher education?
Well, specifically, it's this idea of critical thinking and providing for our students, again, up to 21, because there's no doubt that the challenges that are happening run in 3 subjects specifically. And that's the LGBTQ experience, the African American experience with regard to really trying to bring that critical lens and critical race theory, and then lastly, sexuality. Those are the 3 primary sources. So the idea that someone under 21 wouldn't be prepared to come to the college experience and be exposed to Alice Walker's writings, for example, and it lays claim to all the things we've been talking about with regard to information and computer literacy. And so those core skill sets that ideally our primary education will be preparing them for the college experience.
How do you define censorship?
It's essentially not providing access to everything that's available. And when we talk about restricting access, now it is more than just the print book, because as we all know, the internet is a part of our lives, the Internet of Things.
We have a lot of ebooks. That's kind of taken over ebooks.
Yes, and so the idea that even in those terms, that someone under 21 wouldn't have access, and I keep using color purple because really as an author, the entire story covers every area that I feel we need to know about, right? We need to know about the bisexual experiences of an African-American woman in that experience at that time. And so there's no doubt that the idea that someone or anyone or any organization would restrict access to a student at any level is something that we really need to be clear about in terms of the First Amendment.
Not that long ago, I was here in our Martin Luther King Jr. Library here on our main campus of Essex County College. And saw books that we had set aside with notes on them about being banned. Tell me about those books, why we did that, what were we trying to share with our students?
Essentially, we wanted to highlight that we actually do carry some of the titles and authors that fall under the banned book list of the American Library Association. And, it matters that we have a very specific opinion that not only should our students have access to these titles, but should be aware of these authors. And it's sort of interesting, right? When we talk about modern day and the idea of, well, it doesn't matter if someone is really identifies as LGBTQ, because we are in an environment where we understand that we want to be inclusive, we believe in equity. Interestingly enough, this small conversation about banned books really highlights the fact that this is a fight.
This is really, it sounds like it's a real discourse and concern about intellectual freedom. And that's really what I think, in our democracy, we believe we have. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I mean, when we think, this is why I mentioned the First Amendment, and that we are part of a democracy. We want to be very clear about what it means to have full access to information, and the reverse, that, whatever your opinion, whatever you're looking to write about, that the United States is still a place where you can do and say even the most contrary of things that someone else may be offended by. But that's the freedom of intellectual freedom that we have. I think the other big concern now, more than ever, is this conversation about how, especially in the technology age, algorithmic bias. Joy Buolamwini, part of the MIT Media Lab project, has really her dissertation was about that the algorithm of exclusion, because essentially the white gaze is the language of the internet today, right? That our communities are directly affected by, first of all, not being seen, or the reverse, being, the algorithm is set up in such a way so that we only see certain content.
And we have to worry about how that's also either impacting or brainwashing or affecting those who only get their information from that source. We don't have a lot of time left, but how do you see censorship affecting our up-and-coming content creators? And really, I'm concerned about the future of our students and its educational delivery system. Talk to me about that.
Well, the overall conversation really is about not only feeling the freedom to be able to say what you want to say and share your individual experience, but that the greater voices that are surrounding you are affecting you in such a way that you would feel that it's not okay to talk, or it's not okay to write. And that's really sort of this conversation about misinformation and groups of people being very specific about how they control what you're thinking, how you're thinking, and the way you should behave.
Mm. We are out of time, but you got to tell me about this red label you have on. Is that red or pink?
Yes, it's red.
Red,
It's supposed
okay.
to be red.
Hey, all right, tell very quickly, what's that label for?
I'm supporting, as a librarian here in New Jersey, we support, and the NJLA College and University section is very clear with regard to how we support our school librarians. Most recently, yesterday actually, there was a challenge in Annandale, New Jersey, and we wear red to support the freedom to read, the freedom to write, and to essentially work on really disseminating no more book challenges.
Mm. On that note, we're going to have to go, but I want to thank you, Professor Ware, for joining us and keeping us informed. Don't you go anywhere. We will be right back.
Opened in 1968 and located in Newark, New Jersey, Essex County College is a place where recent high school graduates and adult learners can realize their dreams. An open access college in tune with the needs of the local community, ECC offers a wide range of academic offerings and short-term training programs that help students educate and enrich their lives. ECC offers biology, nursing and health sciences, engineering, computer science, business and finance, supply chain management, liberal arts, criminal justice and social science programs, created to educate qualified prospective employees and address the critical skills gap facing our business and workforce partners. By providing access to affordable, innovative programs that lead to employment, Essex County College meets students where they are, academically, technically, socially, emotionally, and physically.
Welcome back to Essex County College's Community Education Forum. I'm your host, Alfred Bundy. Our next guest is an Essex County College student athlete and on the ladies' Wolverine soccer team. They are the defending National Junior Athletic Association Region 19 champions. It's my pleasure to welcome one of those champions, Zoey Tapsoba, to the forum. Welcome.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And the big game was in Washington, D.C., I understand?
Oh, yeah, that was the final.
That was the final. Wow. How was it to just win, just to have victory?
Actually, we won at the semifinals against Mercer, but we went to the final against a school that is located in Maryland, Washington, D.C.,
Right.
But we didn't win that.
So yeah. The championship was just the statewide
Yes.
Region 19. Okay, I got
Yes.
that. I understand that now. How did you become interested in playing soccer?
Oh, that started since I was in high school back in Africa.
Okay.
I was playing in the school competitions back in the neighborhood with friends. That's how it all started.
Okay. What's your home country in Africa?
My country is Burkina Faso.
Okay. All right. And how long have you been here in the United States?
This year we're making 5 years.
5 years. Okay.
Yes.
You, your family, who else is here?
Oh, I'm here by myself.
You're here by yourself.
Yes.
All right. What's your major?
I'm majoring in cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity, and
Yeah.
that's trying to understand what's going out there in the which
With
might
yeah.
be the next way we have a war. You know, and
That's true.
It may all be done on cyber.
Yeah.
Looking back, tell me how challenging this season was, because you told me that you had a couple players injured or one player injured, and it's kind of hard to talk to me about the season itself.
At first, it was very difficult because most of the games we played with 1 or 2 missing players.
Oh,
it was really challenging, but with a lot of efforts and the support from the coaches, we try to do our best.
And let's mention your head coach. Your head coach is?
My what? Oh, Miss Monique and Ebenezer, Coach Ebenezer.
Okay. Now, do they make sure you also stay on top of your schoolwork?
Oh, yeah. I try.
Okay. Give me your early prediction for next season. Do you see you guys winning Region 19 again, or how's it look?
Oh, I would say next year we'll try to do our best, and why not go to the finals and win it?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And what position do you actually play?
I play defense.
Defense.
Yes.
Okay. Do you like that better than being on the offense?
I do.
Okay. Have you ever been to Goldie?
No.
You never done that. Okay. I know it's a tough sport. Now, how do you actually manage being successful both in the classroom as well as on the field? What does it take?
Actually, I think it takes self-discipline. Yeah, because in everything you do in life, you need to be disciplined. And it's not easy because I've seen it last season. being an athletic and going to school is it's really tiring. So, you know, you need to know what you're doing. You need to have a balanced life.
And plus, I know we ask you to keep your GPA higher than what's required.
That's true.
All athletes must have like a 2.7 to stay on the field here. So
that's true.
That's another added challenge. But listen, we admire you. Who's your favorite soccer player out there, women's soccer player? What team do they play on?
My favorite soccer player is Khadijatou Diani.
Okay, and what team is she?
France.
France?
Yes.
Okay.
She's a French. She played in a club called Lion, like in English, but French they say Lion.
It means a lion?
Yes. I think it's the name of the streets and back there in France. And she is also part of the national team in France. Yes.
When's the next time you'll be going home? Do you know?
I would say next year.
Sometime next year.
Yes.
Holidays, is that when you go?
Holidays. December is good. Yeah.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I would like to move from college cycle to professional.
Do you think you can make it to the pros?
Of course.
We're looking for you.
God is good.
Okay, you know the World Cup games is coming here. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, the World Cup games coming very soon. They'll be in New York, and here parts of it's in New York. We have 8 games that will be played here in New Jersey, and hopefully our soccer team, and you'll be there, we'll be able to go see.
I pray God to that.
Well, yeah, that's going to happen. Listen, much continued success. I'm just absolutely delighted that you're a champion, that you're on.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right. Listen, thank you, and we will be right back. But before we go, we need to take a look at Essex County College's Alumni Corner and meet Ms. Vivian Carter from the class of 1973. Essex County College made a difference in her life. She's now making a difference in the world. Check this out. Welcome back to Essex County College's Community Education Forum. I'm your host, Alfred Bundy. Our next guest is the Associate Dean for Student Affairs and Special Projects here at the college. She is here to talk about one of our fascinating, fun events coming up, our 55th Anniversary Scholarship Gala. Please welcome Dr. Leigh Bello to the forum.
Hi, Al.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
And certainly, I'm honored and delighted to be one of your co-chairs and to assist you with this event.
Again.
Let's just talk about what the 55th anniversary of the college means in general. What does that mean?
So, we started back in 1968, and we are now celebrating our 55th year. And what does that consist of? It consists of multiple events throughout the course of the year. We started with our convocation, we had our veterans celebration, and other numerous events, little tiny events here on campus. But we also have our scholarship gala, which we'll be talking about. And then the final event of our 55th anniversary year will be commencement.
Will be graduation.
Graduation.
And of course, we're proud to say we have about 40 or 50,000 graduates from our 55 years.
Yes, there's a lot.
Yeah, and they're in all walks of life, and many of them have gone on to grad school and PhDs. And we're also delighted to have about 25 or 30 of them who have graduated and work back here at the college. And so they're so. Who this fundraising gala benefit? Tell the audience. I know, but let everybody else know.
So the scholarship gala, it benefits our students. Okay, it benefits our returning students. It benefits our graduating students. So every year, our president gives out, Dr. Bawachi, he gives out his presidential scholarship. So what we do with these events, our scholarship fundraiser for the gala, and also our scholarship fundraiser, which is our golf tournament, all of those funds go directly into the President's Scholarship Fund, where he then disperses that money, whether, as I said, for a graduating student or as students need it throughout the course of the year. So if a student needs help with their tuition, they can apply for that scholarship, and then it goes through a review process,
And then they get the money.
And then they get the money. Funds are
And
applied.
you actually help coordinate our, we want people to know we only have 2 major fundraisers a year. We don't fundraise all the time, but we have the golf
and
outing,
tennis.
which is normally in the fall.
That's in October.
And every 2 years we do this gala.
Yes, every 2 years we get all dressed up.
Right, and we can't thank you enough for just having to coordinate all these events. And like you said, we get all dressed up. So is there a certain theme or a certain look that everybody should have for the gala this year?
Absolutely. So the first thing is you have to be at the Crystal Plaza on April 11th, 2024. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is we're asking our guests, preferred I should say, to dress in school colors. So green, gold, silver, black or white, gowns, ties, whatever, just to kind of get that feel going on the dance floor. It'll just be a sea of green and gold and silver on the floor.
And I'm glad you mentioned the dance floor because it is going to be a fun event.
Always is.
Food and dancing, a little bit of program, just a little program, not a lot of program. We're also honoring some people who are special to this college. Share with us who we're honoring this year at the gala.
Sure. So we are honoring our 55-year employees. We currently have 3. Patricia Bartonique, she is an English professor in our humanities department. We have Professor Gerald Friedman. He is in our social science division. And we have Dr. Bob Spellman, who is our art professor, one of our art professors in our humanities department. So
nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So
55 years. They've been with us for the entire
from the first brick.
From the first brick. Isn't that something? Who else are we recognizing?
So we are recognizing our new state senator, Burgess. Yeah, I have to think. I'm sorry. I have so many names. Renee Burgess. Yes. Okay. We are recognizing
and she's
her.
An alumni.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And then we also have Miss Vivian Carter, who is also an alum of Essex. I think she was education, and Renee was business, if I recall correctly.
Actually, I think Vivian was a former public school teacher. And then, of course, she's like, we call her a volunteer extraordinaire because even since she's retired, she's very involved in the community, helping and supporting.
And here on campus.
And even coming back here to help on campus. Yes. Especially during registration. How can someone get a ticket to this fabulous event?
Contact me. No, we have, yes, contact me. But we also have our website. If you go on to essex.edu, if you just click on that banner up front, it'll have the invitation up there. You just click on that. It'll bring you to our invite and also our digital page where you'll be able to pay and see what options are available to you. We also have an ad journal that you can contribute to.
Excellent.
So it'll be a digital ad journal. So all of those ads will be running that night continuously up on our screens, and all of our guests will be getting a nice USB with that digital ad journal in it. Nice. But yeah, so essex.edu, click on that. If not, you can email ECC Gala at essex.edu. Myself or you or Miss Jonelle will answer you right back in a heartbeat, and we'll get back to you. But
we heard there's nothing like an ECC party, so keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
Let's remind everybody when this event is.
April 11th, 2024, 6 p.m. is the cocktail hour at the Crystal Plaza in Livingston, and the Crystal Plaza is gorgeous.
Wow.
Beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful.
Nothing like the Crystal Plaza.
Nope, beautiful.
One of the great venues in the area. Don't be square. We will make sure that you are there.
Yes.
Dr. Bello, we got to go, but thank you for sharing and telling us
problem.
about that event coming up on April 11th. You have been watching Essex County College Community Education Forum. For more information on Essex County College, please visit our website at essex.edu. And to catch any of the Community Education Forum shows, check us out on Facebook or YouTube. I'm your host, Alfred Bundy.
You've been watching Essex County College's Community Education Forum. For more information on Essex County College, visit essex.edu. To catch any of our Community Education Forum shows, check out Facebook or YouTube. We'll see you next time.